Hi everyone, welcome back to the third call of Return to the Real You, R2U. And today's call is on your sacral chakra, and what it is, how you can activate it, and how it makes you magnetic. So, before I start, do you have any questions about what being magnetic means, or just generally about the sacral? What do you know about the sacral?
Yeah, just the place of creation. I think it helps in, I think we yearn for connection, right? So, and that is where it's related to it. So it could mean various things, starting from obviously, which is creating another human being,
Yeah,
to, arts and forms, creativity, dance, music, anything creative, something which helps in expression.
yeah.
So
So you know a lot. And when I say being magnetic, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
sometimes someone who's attractive.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess when I say being attractive, I don't even just limit it to, say a relationship or, attractive, being attractive sexually, but being magnetic in a whole. You know how sometimes you enter a room and you look at somebody and you forget about everything else and you just like stare at
Yeah,
them, right? So it might
yeah,
not just be a sexual desire, but it could just be admiration, right? There can be so many other
yeah,
things, right? So
yeah,
it's basically that, right? That giving out like your aura being that magnetic, that attractive,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, all that power lies in your sacral. Yeah, so let's dive into it now, because there is a lot to understand. And sometimes we feel that all of this creativity, everything, like we know theoretically, but when we think about how do we express those things, how do we activate it, then sometimes we don't understand how to do it, because it's such a natural thing, right? Like if you like to paint, then why don't you paint? Like it's as simple as that, right? But we know that there can be so many blocks and so many things, the way we've grown up, the way our society is, all of it. Our desires are also modified, or it goes through many layers even before we can feel it. Otherwise we're kind of separated from our desires as well, because that's how we are conditioned, right? I think we talked about it in the last call as well. So okay, let's start now. When it comes to okay when it comes to sacral, think of the water element, okay, and think of movement, okay. So when I say imagine the flow of a river, okay, and imagine if you've ever seen it, witnessed it, or even if you've witnessed it, on TV or wherever, you probably have seen the gusto with which the river goes, right? And sacral is all about the water element, okay. So what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say water element and river, and like with that image, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
It just keeps flowing.
Yeah. What does it mean?
It's passing
Like
by.
when it comes to flow and when it comes to sacral, is there a connection that you can make?
I think so. It has to keep flowing, that creativity or that connection. It
Perfect.
has to be constant, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yashika, anything? If you could come on camera, it'll be great.
Yeah, I have just joined, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I just said that there is a river, right? So think when we are talking about the sacral chakra, so we think of the river flowing and think of the sacral chakra, okay? So now when the river is flowing and I say that there is a connection between these two, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Emotions,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You mean flowing, the emotions are flowing? Okay.
or they get blocked. I mean, emotions is the stuff because sacral is somewhere near uterus, and uterus is a woman's second heart. So I'm relating it all to that.
Mm, perfect.
Uh, whenever a woman's feelings are hurt now, she gets fibroids and everything related to her uterus. So from I'm coming from that view.
Yes.
So that's why I'm relating it to emotions.
Beautiful. Okay. So I'm just gonna, yeah. So this is perfect. Okay. I was gonna go in that direction itself. Now, when it comes to sacral, it's all about movement. Okay. And when I say movement, I'm talking about emotions. What are emotions? Energy in motion. So our sacral is the center for all our emotions. Okay. Could be, and actually it's also the center of pain and pleasure. So all the things that give us pain, you can have deep anger for somebody you really love, isn't it? And you can have deep love also for that one person that you are angry at. You can have both these emotions with that same person, right? So, and I'm talking about the person, but it could be about anything. All sorts of emotions, they come from there. Okay. And like I said, emotion in itself is energy in motion, and we're talking about the river flowing. So what does it all mean, right? It means that our emotions inside the sacral, if they do not move, right, if they don't have movement, if they don't have flow, like Yash was saying, then it gets blocked, like what Yashika was saying, right? And that blocked energy is what basically then creates all sorts of issues that we say, our chakra is blocked, our emotions are blocked. And then I actually want to give you two different examples of the blockages. Okay. So abhi tak everything is clear? Yeah. So the two things that they're blocked in, one is your body, of course, right? Because now when we talk about the sacral chakra, of course, we can't see it, but we know through scriptures and all of the work that we've done energetically, it's there, right? It's imagined as a disc, right? An orange disc. And it's kind of moving in a clockwise direction. And when it's blocked, it kind of either stops moving or it moves very slowly. Okay. Now, what there are two things to it. One is we'll talk about the systems, how it gets blocked there, and what are the effects of it on the system. We'll talk a little bit about systems if you don't know. The second is uh, its effects on our literal physical body, right? What happens then? Now, imagine one very simple, example could be that somebody lost a job, right? Now they are super, super depressed, angry, helpless. And again, depression is a very broad term, right? So, in terms of emotions, I would say they're feeling helpless, they're feeling, frustrated, they're feeling hopeless, all of those emotions. And instead of working on those emotions, instead of feeling those emotions, instead of sitting with those emotions, they start to they smoke or they drink, an example, or they go out, right, and they party with friends, whatever it is. So they are basically going away from those emotions. And what is happening to that anger? It's still there, right? Because now instead of that anger, if you smoke, or if you go and speak to somebody else, or if you party, you've kind of suppressed that anger, right? Because it was too much for you to feel, so you can't feel, so you go out, right? However, that anger is still there. So now it's in the sacral, right? Now, what happens is all of the repressed emotions that we do not feel fully, one, before I go there, all the emotions that are there, okay, they need to go a full cycle. That's what emotions are. We need to feel it fully. And then it doesn't go anywhere, it's resolved, right? However, most of us don't do that with our emotions, be it good emotions or bad ones. I'll come to the good one later. Now, what happens, that anger, which was in the sacral, it goes to different. Now, we have also a lot of nadis and energetic, what is it? Like portals as well, right? So, one example is that anger could go to your liver and collect there, right? It can go to other places also based on how people are, their genetics, their emotional way of dealing with things. But many a times anger goes to the liver. Now, whatever happens there, that's another thing. It could obviously cause other physical issues as well. And based on, how the person's um, physical nature is, what are they doing, what are they eating. However, many a times you would see doctors also talking about what you eat and, all of that. Of course, that plays a major role. But we don't talk about the emotions. When we don't really make our emotions go through, the full cycle of feeling, they also cause um physical issues,
Blockages,
blockages. Yeah.
Health issues. Yeah.
So like they say for cancer, a lot of not just
resentment,
resentment,
resentment.
no forgiveness, right? So you're holding on to things, right? So many things. And it's not just Louise say, but generally also a lot of schools of thoughts have talked about all of these emotions when they are not felt. That's what happens. Okay, any questions there?
No, no questions. I once held on to anger 2 years back, and I got severe gastritis, which couldn't be resolved by I don't know how many doctors I visited. फिर वो finally resolve हो गया within 15 days. 1.5 साल से वो इतना गंदा पेन होता था कि मेरे को इंजेक्शंस लगवाने पड़ते थे, and I'm myself an Ayurveda doctor. But somehow by God's grace वो so I could relate to that. That yes, anger is related to liver. My liver was very much in issue. Plus, I got severe gastritis.
Yeah, yeah. And again, like I said,
I'm unable to understand, Anisha, that we are talking of the sacral chakra, which is somewhere lower,
hmm.
and yeah. So anger has nothing to do in direct relation with sacral. Like
So So,
emotions in general is
actually, that anger can also stay in, say, the uterus or anything around the sacral and cause anything there as well. But this is an example that it
yeah.
comes from there, but it can go to the whole body, no, anywhere. Suppose your liver is vulnerable, it'll go to the liver. Your kidneys can be vulnerable, it'll go there. It can go to your heart. It can go anywhere, in that sense. But what I'm talking about is it comes from there. So when we work on the sacral as a whole, we are kind of doing a holistic job of clearing, our emotions. वो अगर anger process हो जाता in the sacral, it wouldn't go anywhere, is what I'm saying. Even within the sacral, it wouldn't cause any havoc, you know. So yeah. So yeah, the point is that it can, like I said, based on your body, your emotion experiences, your emotions will go wherever it takes. Sometimes there can be a history of alcoholism in the family, like for me. So then what will happen is the liver or whatever parts of the body will get be more vulnerable because for generations it has been like that, right? So your genes kind of take the stress to a certain part of the body. So it depends on that. But here, like you said, is it not affecting the sacral? Of course it is affecting the sacral, and you'll see some distortions there as well, because एक इमोशन गया है कहीं और doesn't mean कि जो where it started from will not get affected. That is also getting affected. Okay. Yeah. So we talked about something negative. Now let's talk about something positive. For example, you have done something, uh, worth praise, at work, or just say, let's say work took care, it can become a little more formal. Let's say it's your mother, right? And she is saying something good about you, or she is giving you some money, or she's made something good for you, right, at home or whatever like that. And you don't even, like, you come home, they give you something or they say something nice to you, and you don't even acknowledge it, and you just move on because you're just like whatever, right? Like, it's my duty, or ye to karna hi tha. So many things come in your head, but you don't accept that thank you with grace. And since you didn't accept that thank you, that you see how that worthiness or whatever it is within you is not ready to take that thank you, even if it's from your mother, even if it's from somebody who's very close, right? Because you just take it for granted. So that worthiness, yeah, whatever emotion that it triggers will also then stay in your body, you see, because you did not feel that thank you fully. And this also happens because a lot of times, people say something good to us and we say, yeah, yeah, whatever. Like, no, no, I didn't do this. Or, the first reaction is, I didn't do this. Yeah, I will, it's not me. So when you say that, even then that emotion is in your body somewhere not being felt, and that will also go somewhere because there is a lack, no, inside. That's why you're not able to take that praise. So that also causes some disruptions in the body. Okay, now that's your body. Okay, and a very simple example I've given, because and it can obviously be very complicated. For example, like if you have uh see, I never say don't take medical or whatever. Obviously you have to seek your doctor's thing, and many a times it's lifestyle also. But always work on the emotional aspect, because like you said, 15 days mein you worked on it and it was resolved, whereas for 2 years doctors were just like going around, right? So it has to be an approach where the emotions are in control, because you will always know ki agar you're not able to forgive someone, you're angry at someone, you know, only you will know, right? So that is what you need to work on, and you'll see other things actually opening up for you very quickly. Okay, the second is where these emotions go is the system, I said, right? Now, when I talk about systems, family systems, I'm talking about. Do you have any idea about what a family system is? I think I mentioned it earlier, but if you don't, then I'll go a little bit into that as well.
I'm aware of family
Huh.
constellations.
That's where the concept is coming from. Family systems is also the same, right? Which means that we are here, then our parents were there, then our, ancestors are there. So like everybody is together in a system, okay? And a system is, and we all have our systems, right? Whether you're adopted, whether wherever, still you have a system, right? You came from somewhere, so you have that whole battalion of those energies behind you. Okay, now what is the basic thing that I want to talk about? Like there are a lot of rules or a lot of things that go with the system. One thing is inclusion. Okay. And obviously movement wala part isliye aa raha hai because of the sacral, but movement is that the system has to keep moving forward. Yeah, वो तो है ही, right? Because even if you don't have kids, maybe someone else does, but that energy keeps moving forward, right? From behind to like wherever forward. That's number one. Number two is inclusion. When I said everybody is included in the system. Now, this actually can be a whole call on its own, but what I mean is, um, just think of examples, okay, of outcasts. Somebody is divorced, somebody is very sick, okay, somebody lives abroad or whatever, left the family when he was young, okay, somebody is gay, right? Or somebody is so many things, right? All of these things, don't you see how the family kind of can throw you out of the family
Gents who
for
never
various.
got married, like हाँ हमारे गांव में I remember there were many gents who I don't know for some reason they never got married, so
Yeah.
their clan ended there and then. Yeah. But they were still treated as pitra when they died.
Yeah, but I mean that's where patriarchy comes in. But you know how like even those women who don't get married, right? So then they also get to hear so many things, no? That oh, she never married and she's always at home. Whatever. I'm just talking about various stories that people build. But or somebody married somebody outside of their this thing, caste and all that. They are also kind of shunned, no? Or somebody married somebody from another religion. They are also shunned. So point is that so many things, one little thing, or everybody is in your house is a doctor and you are a writer, even that can make you an outcast. Oh, this person doesn't work hard, something like that, isn't it? So anything and everything like that, can create an exclusion, meaning this person or everybody looks a certain way in the family, you look different again, or you are dark and everybody is fair in the family. There can be simple things like that, right? And suddenly you feel like, oh my god, I'm not a part of the family. So everything that doesn't make you, that makes you feel like you've been excluded from the family is exclusion. However, the system that I'm talking about, that includes everyone. So whether it's an uncle who committed suicide, whether it's your grandmother who died, you know, uh, in a war, whatever, and these are some topics that you don't talk about, isn't it? There are certain scandals in the family that your parents will not tell you about, where you will hear about them many years later. So remember all of that energy. I'm talking about movement, no? All of these energies of these people who were excluded, unka energy will stay in the system. and they will come through in different ways. So now that you've understood the concept, let me give you an example that how these emotions move through the family. Okay, family system. Now think of a family of five members: husband, wife, three kids. Okay, now kids are five, three, and one. Okay, and then the husband, wife. Now they are traveling, and then there is an accident, and somehow the 1 year old has passed away. Okay, now what will happen? Now the parents are super depressed and hurt, right? The mother now fears that the 1 year old has passed. Now she becomes very protective of the other two kids, right? So she literally smothers them. She doesn't let them go out. She's always like holding on to them, but she's also grieving the death of a 1 year old. So she is depressed, right? She's sad. And when she's holding on to the other two kids, that sadness is going to them, and they are also little, right? So they want their mother full time, but their mother is not available because their mother is grieving, right? Now the father, on the other hand, father is also very depressed, right? The father is so angry, feeling so helpless that he doesn't stay at home anymore, because when he's at home he thinks of the 1 year old, right, and the loss, and he couldn't do anything, so he goes out. He has an affair, right? Because he can't deal with the wife, he can't deal with the kids. All he keeps thinking about is that child who has passed away. So he starts drinking and he starts having affairs, and he just loses his life there. Okay, in the sense that he is no longer available for the two kids now, right, who are there. And their relationship also deteriorates. Husband wife's relationship is not good anymore. This is what the two kids grow up with, right? Now uh they grow up with two parents who are not there, right? Or even if they're there, the parents are very like in their own world, they're too depressed, right? One has become an alcoholic, one is on pills or whatever it is, right? She's trying to numb her own pain from that loss. So what is happening is the loss of that 1 year old was not felt in the family, right? वो चलता जा रहा है, that grief is going on and on and on and on. If they had felt it like in one go as a family, they could move on, but they were not willing to move on. That grief, you see how the grief is following the whole family. Now the two kids are grown up, they have relationships, right, adult relationships. They are not able to find a partner that, they cannot have a healthy relationship, because उनके लिए love is equal to absent, right? Love is equal to drinking, love is equal to separation. So
Yeah.
for them, if somebody comes to love them now, they are not able to love them, because they have not seen it when they grew up, right? So there they also have bad relationships, and it goes on and on and on like that. So what happened? The death of that one child, the grief, it following, it's following their life, then it's following their siblings life, then it's following, ऐसे करके. So this is why an emotion, which is energy in motion, which comes from our sacral, when it is not full, like when it is not felt fully, full cycle, then it can one is it can travel in a body. The second is it can travel in a system also, like this. So that's the reason why it's very important for us to not block our emotions, to, like when I said in the beginning, like the river flows, our emotions need to flow, our emotions need to be felt, our emotions need to be, we need to sit with it. And when I say sit with it, I don't mean suffer with it, okay? Because I know some emotions are tough to go through, right? Like that 1 year old death, it's grief, it's so much pain, right? It's difficult to feel it. So that's why, there is help. You take help, you take therapy, you do healing, whatever it is that is required, and then you move on. The point is to keep moving forward, because if you don't, then you'll move forward. Moving forward is not a negotiable thing, right? You'll move forward, because we are born and we kind of move forward to our death, isn't it? Like we're all going in the same direction. But what are you going with? Are you going with those past burdens, emotions, or are you going, uh, in a free way and kind of picking up more experiences as you go and living your life fully. Because if you're taking from the past, then you're not present in the current moment. And then, of course, this means that a lot of emotions are being dealt with in the moment. So imagine if you're dealing with so many emotions from the past, how the body is dealing with it. The body is so, that's why you feel fatigue, that's why you feel stress, that's why you feel heaviness. Because imagine what all the body has to process. It has to process 10-year-old fight, it has to process 5-year-old heartbreak, it has to process 20-year-old grief, all of that. So many emotions that we don't feel is all in our body, and our body is still functioning, going on and on and on and on. Yeah. So yeah, that's our that's what I wanted to start with, that this is what sacral is, this is what it means. We need to start feeling it. Once we are kind of done with that, we move forward, and that's where the process of becoming magnetic starts, because that's the whole call about, right? Being magnetic. How do you become magnetic? When the sacral is fully owned, when you start living your life from the sacral. अभी क्या हो रहा है? You are situations are coming in your life and you're reacting to it, right? When you start living from your sacral, meaning you're breathing from your sacral, you are desiring from your sacral, you are giving out those vibes, then life, you start attracting what you want, like whatever they say in law of attraction and all that. So one thing that you if you've understood what sacral is, and you are kind of wondering, a lot of thoughts must be coming in terms of, oh my god, like, what are my emotions, what's stuck in my body. Just start with the question, where can I flow instead of forcing? You can journal on it, you can, whatever comes to your mind. Those are basically the blocks that are coming up right now in your life, where you're kind of forcing. How like you have an interview and then you uh get attached to the result. I mean, it's very natural, but that's what happens when and then you're just like obsessed ki kab result aega. When will I get the offer letter? This is one example. It could be with a girl, you went on a date and now she hasn't messaged you, right? And you just get again in that thing that, oh my god, this is the. But why is all of this happening? Because somewhere we are feeling insecure, somewhere we are feeling like this is the one. If this doesn't happen, our life is over. That's not true. That's not flow, right? Because what is flow? Now imagine a river flowing, and river ke samne there is this huge rock that comes up. Does the river stop flowing? No. It is coming with such a speed, it'll find a way to go, no, side se idhar se udhar se, even on top of it, right? And eventually, actually over the years, it'll even erode the rock, wo rock ke beech mein se it'll go, right? But it will not stop. So that's what flow is all about. It's not dependent on that one decision, one person, one situation. You flow because the river knows that it'll find a way, isn't it? Even if there is no way, it creates a way, no? Over the years, centuries, it has been creating ways for it to flow, even if there was no path as such, right? So that's what going with the flow is, and not forcing. Because the more we force, imagine holding the water in your hand. Can you hold it? That's the sacral energy. You can't hold it. It has to flow. That's what it is. And all of these emotions that I'm talking about, the stuck emotions, they are like that debris, or like that patthar, in the riverbed. Have you seen so many things that keep, so though they are the ones that are kind of weighing down the river, wo flow. Obviously when there is a lot of stones and pebbles, like I remember going to what was that place, Ranthambore, or I don't know, somewhere where there was this river and all. And of course, when there were so many rocks in the bottom, the flow becomes a little less, no? It's low. So that's what the emotions are doing. The more stuck they are, the more they are in your sacral, the lower your flow is. For how you have to put that pressure pump because the water is not coming. So then that's where what you do meditation, you do clearing, you do healing, you do work on yourself. That's the pressure pump. So ekdam se the flow starts. That's where you start making your sacral go. So, okay, so I'll just look at my next topic now. Any questions before that?
Just again, out of curiosity, when we do sadhana,
Yeah,
that's also helps us increase the flow, right? Because we are
yeah,
kind of praying to the deity to either help us flow, or we are inculcating the energy of the deity, because of which that flow kind of gets pushed, right? That's what it is, right?
bilkul. Yeah. Sadhana is like one of the most powerful things. And recently I was at a class, Yash, and actually somebody said that you should actually have whatever you're doing, you can do your practice, you can do, how people also do spells, this, that, you can do all these things thode time ke liye, like people do experiments. But this person said that for sadhana, you should pick one sadhana that you do for the rest of your life. Something that keeps you grounded, something that keeps you focused, something that keeps you helping moving forward, and you just commit to it for the rest of your life. So I was like, wow, that's interesting, because eh, that person actually said that that helps you, stay, like all of this sacral वगैरह तो of course होगा, but it even keeps you grounded like that. So that's very powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I talked about that energy weighing you down. But what happens when the river is not flowing and it kind of sits in one place? It rots, no? You see.
Rods, fungus is there, algae is there, sorry.
Yeah, even in a
Yeah.
bucket, if you keep water for like say 2 weeks, you'll see, some insects and all start developing there. So that's what happens when we are not in a flow. When our sacral is kind of stagnant, you'll start to feel that energy of rot. You'll feel heavy, you'll feel depressed, you'll feel angry constantly, constantly, constantly. So then ki bhai flow is missing, right? I need to get into the flow. And I know sometimes when I started learning it, I was like, what the hell is a flow? How do I live with the flow? But like the question I asked you is, where is it that you're forcing and not flowing? Go to the points where you're forcing. You'll get to know where the flow is blocked. It could be forcing about, even forcing, by the way, when we are, good example is when you're forcing a body to go to the gym and you hate going, right? And you're just forcing, 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 the cortisol becomes so high, that stress hormone, that whatever the purpose of exercising it gets defeated, you see.
Hmm.
So that's why the flow is important. If you don't want to go to the gym, go and walk, right? Start eating healthy. Find alternatives where your body is flowing, whatever it is. Because the moment you force, that purpose is defeated of whatever you want. And of course, not to say don't mix motivation with forcing, because motivation can be, that's a positive push. Now I don't know how to give you an example.
Discipline,
Discipline.
maybe.
Like, for example, you said sadhana, that's a good example. That's discipline. In the beginning, you will feel all sorts of resistance to doing it, right? And especially doing something every day, uh, you feel like it's a chore. However, if you do it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, like I've been doing for almost a couple of years now. Now it's very easy. Now it's almost become like, a second nature. But in the beginning, I used to think of 100 ways to skip it, So don't confuse that with the flow, because innately what's good for you and what's not. And even if by the way, if you're forcing yourself to do sadhana and you're not liking it, that's also not going to reap any benefits, right? So under se there must be some strand of you that really likes to do it, only then you're doing it, right? So don't do anything, don't listen to anyone, don't follow anyone if you have to force yourself. That's where you actually start to begin to start speaking the language of flow, because there are so many things that are forced on us. Let's take an example of when you were growing up and you wanted to be an artist, suppose, okay, or you wanted to be a tarot card reader, okay. And now imagine telling that to your parents, right? What would your parents say? All the kinds of questions that will come, all sorts of resistances that will come. Even you yourself cannot imagine, Are, I want to be that. What does that mean? Because I remember when I was growing up, I wanted to be a writer or something like a poet or whatever. And for the longest time, okay. But every time people used to be like, okay, one is that, but what will you do for money? You know, like everybody's like, huh, wo to theek hai, but what will you do? What will you do for money? And it's such a normal question, no? Especially in India, about we need to do something to make money, right? So what happens then? Our desire gets squashed. And by the way, where does money come from? Money comes from the flow, by the way. If you follow your heart, that's where money comes from. And that's nobody teaches that, right? But they say that you do something and then that's where it comes from. But we all know that there comes a time where there's so many stories of, how people just leave whatever they're doing because of burnout. People conk off. There are like all of this over stress that happens at work, and we all know that example, right? So Yashika's child is there, so her inner child is like very much active in the call.
No, so that's why I was just wondering. Her emotion is also one side, perhaps wants to be seen or felt. That's the reason why
Yes,
I
All
just,
the
exactly.
kind of.
time, whenever I'm on Zoom, whenever I'm doing something, she wants to be, seen. Like, एक बारी तो आप बोलोगे नहीं तो वो आती ही रहेगी.
Yeah, yeah. And
No,
that's
all
another
all
thing, no?
kids,
Yeah, yeah.
all kids do that. I mean, I remember I used to do that when my mom was on the phone. For some reason, I had to be just around her then and just, do something or
Yeah. And that's also getting attention, no? Like even growing up, remember how many times we wanted attention, and then when we don't get it, then again that was also, by the way, moving on in our body, huh, somewhere. And the whole saga of not feeling the emotions and not being seen and all of that, right? So yeah, so let's like talk about different things, different ways in which we can clear the rot now. I'm going to do the meditation in some time, which where we clear our sacral chakras, okay, completely, so that we are free of that and you can start, going with the flow. But let's just talk a little bit about how to clear the rot first. First is awareness, right? So how do you know what emotions are there? Where you feeling stuck? Again, every time, wherever you're forcing, and every time you're feeling some sort of resistance towards somebody, some situation, that's a stuck emotion. Sometimes it can be tricky, no? Like, I'm not getting, I ordered something and it's not coming. At that moment, it doesn't feel like, oh, there's a stuck emotion, but it could be the worry, it could be the stress, it could be so many other things. In the past, I've always been cheated. So now also maybe somebody has stolen it. I'm just saying that there can be layers of emotions behind every feeling that is coming. Okay. Oh, by the way, I wanted to give you an example of this also. Let me just show it to you. Let's see. Can you see?
Yes.
So, this is a very interesting picture of map of consciousness. Okay. Now, if you can see all of these emotions on the left, shame, guilt, apathy, grief, right? And it goes on to enlightenment. By the way, enlightenment piece ke beech mein there is gratitude also. Okay. Now, why am I showing you this is because these are the various emotions. Okay. So we can, when we feel the emotions, it can go from here to there. However, there are certain emotions that are absolutely like, like gives us the feeling of miserable, right? So there is a difference between emotions and feelings. Emotion कुछ भी हो सकता है, but feeling based on that can be different. For example, shame can make us feel miserable. Shame can also make us feel angry. No, shame can also make us feel. Feelings can be different based on your situation, but the emotion is what dictates, our sacral. Okay. So shame, guilt, apathy, grief are all really like lower emotions. When you feel those emotions, they really are. Always remember, they are like taking away your life force energy. Okay.
Mm.
Fear, desire, anger are still better because somewhere anger, like they say, anger is never alone. Anger के पीछे हमेशा कुछ होता है, right? So anger, when you're feeling anger, there is always maybe helplessness, maybe all of something deeper. So always go there because anger is actually taking you out of something bad. Okay. Then obviously courage. And then neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Okay, so we want to be in the upper, obviously, upper part of the map here. Okay, and as much as possible. So whenever you're feeling the lower emotions, try and do whatever it is, create like a structure for yourself so that it helps you propel to something on the upper side of courage. Yeah, I'll share this with you as well. But this is just for you to know that these are the emotions that we, where it lies and all of that. So after this, one is awareness, how we can work on clearing that rot. What is the second one? Expression. Of course. What's movement? When I talk about movement, एक movement है emotion का. What is the second movement? The actual movement, isn't it? Like dance, like walk, like, doing whatever it is that takes. That will actually help the emotions move, even laughing, screaming, any kind of artwork you're doing, all of it is helping you release those emotions. So that's the something that you can do, right? And when I say artwork, please, anything, even doodling, it can help you clear out emotions. Okay, so if you're going through an intense emotion, next time try and just doodle it out. What does it feel? Draw it. That it'll help you feel the emotion, like I was saying. Breath work, of course, right? So even swaying, swaying, doing somatic work, so many things you can find on YouTube nowadays. It helps you soothe and relax and release. Okay, you're saying something, Yash?
No, no, I've just realized I have a lot of anger towards my boss. I was just imagining myself, scribbling something. It was just like, I think I'm gonna break the pen and tear the pages
Do it,
apart.
do it.
Just,
Draw him and draw all situations and tear the page, burn it, and jane do swaha.
मतलब probably that's the reason why I'm unable to just work also. पता है मेरे से काम हो ही नहीं रहा है. I'm जितना मैं करता था ना, मैं उसका 80% 70% भी काम नहीं करता हूँ आजकल, क्योंकि मुझसे होता ही नहीं है. I'm stuck somewhere, so that's where it probably resonated. I was just one,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you know what? I think he's triggering a part of you that okay, so there this is a whole new concept, but
yeah.
let me introduce it here. Everything on the outside, वो तो पता ही है कि what is inside is outside, that is true. However, every person or aspect also is inside us, meaning that boss of yours, there is a version of him that's inside Yash. You can choose that version and work on him. And
Hmm.
when you work on that, you can work on that version of him and clear it out. And when that gets cleared, that energy that you have with that person will also get cleared.
The last 1 month he's been better, but I'm just trying to say, how do I do that? How do I work with that version and make it better?
I've taught you some tools, know how to work on your emotions and all. What you can do is you can hold on to that version, that person, okay, and just keep on a repeat, like do for like at least 100 times. Do the tools, feeling of anger, feeling of frustration, feeling of whatever, right? And clear it out. And like, and jab tak you feel, so 0 to 10 low, 10 being the worst, 0 being neutral, till you feel 0, do it.
Nice, Samjay. I don't think we've discussed it. Sorry, I don't
I'll I'll
remember.
I'll
Yeah, sure,
message
sure,
you
sure.
and I'll tell you, huh? So then that will, so again, the point is that all of the issues that are happening outside in the world, you can, that is there inside also, because what, we are all the cosmos, हम ब्रह्मास्मि बोलते हैं ना, तो if we are the world, then the world is in us. So that aspect of the world that is causing an issue, we can hold on to that issue and we can work on it, and we can clear that part of that person inside us. अंदर अपने अंदर clear हो जाएगा तो हमारा problem तो solve हो गया ना. Then that, of course, that person is also getting healed. That's a different thing, right? So I'll tell you separately, okay, Yash? Second is of course, affirmations. Sometimes affirmations don't work. That's why I do, on my sessions, just to first clear out the trigger in that statement. Because otherwise, if you say I love you and you hate that person, then that love you is not going to sink into your subconscious, right? So that's why a lot of times affirmations don't work. And actually, what we can do right now? This is something that can be shared with everyone as well. Just close your eyes and think of something that's really triggering you, okay? Think of anything, any like one instance, okay? Okay. Now say, with soul's love,
It's so slow.
yeah, with soul's love, I forgive myself for whatever it is. Like if you were angry or whatever, so for being angry at this person or whatever your emotion is. Like I'm taking Yash's example. So with soul's love, I forgive myself for being angry at this person. So you can add with soul's love, and you can add a statement of whatever you are doing right now, which is making you angry, which is making you uncomfortable. Okay. So do this. I can give you some examples also if you're right now I can't find the examples, but I'm going to send it to you separately. What will happen is, imagine when I say soul's love, imagine a huge ocean. Okay. अब ocean इतना बड़ा है, it's endless, right? And imagine your problems. That's soul's love, by the way, that ocean. Okay. Now, and imagine your problems as a drop of water. So what happens when a drop of water goes into the in the ocean? It just the ocean takes it, no? So that's what's happening with soul's love. This energy is so powerful. It's like that consciousness energy. Like literally, soul's love is like unlimited. So when you give your problems to it, it just takes it in and it like makes it part of the healing energy. Okay, that's the power of soul's love. So you use soul's love with all your problems. I'm going to give you a few statements. I can't find it right now, so that you guys can start using this to heal get instant results basically, because otherwise we keep going in a loop of our emotions. Oh my god, I'm feeling this, that, what do I do? Isse kya hoga, you'll feel the whole thing and it'll be gone in one go. Yeah, perfect. Now let's get back to what else I had to tell you. Actually, we only have 10 minutes. Do you want to do more? One more thing. Before, how do you start activating your sacral? Let's talk about that and then we'll go to the meditation. One, I said emotional release. Of course, using the tools, you can use soul's love. If you don't know anything else, you can do EFT. We have done that in the past. You can do, like I said, drawing. All of that you can do to get your emotion out. Okay, so start practicing from today, because even crying, laughing, dancing, anything, right? But usko bahar lana zaruri hai, right? So do that with everything you feel nowadays. From this moment, don't suppress it. That's the worst thing you can do. Talk to someone, whatever it is, but bahar lao. Like one of my mentors actually says ki watch a very sad movie and bring it out. I don't know if that's a good way or not, but sometimes those it can trigger that sad emotion and help you just release it. So that's also one way that she used to say. I'll send you all uh, journaling prompts, okay, and do that. It's going to be, I think, 10, 20, whatever journaling prompts वो उससे भी कर सकते हो. So you think of something and you write it down. Very good way to release it, right? Next is embodied movements. So hey, once, like you said, dance and all, free dance. You can do hip circles, you can do pelvic sways. There are a lot of yoga positions also that can help you release all those emotions. There is goddess pose. There is this whole thing around the pelvis also. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. If you want to try it out, you can do, because a lot of our emotions get stuck there, right? Then pleasure and self nurturing. So we don't take care of ourselves. The best thing that you can do about for your body and to release emotions is go for a massage, oil massage, or those that Kerala, whatever that thing is, they do good massages. Like, it's amazing. If you can commit to yourself ki even if not every week, every month you do that, you will see all. Sometimes emotions come, they're in the body, we don't even know. It's just stuck in our body somewhere, in our hips, in our shoulders, in our wherever. So when you do it, actually physically those emotions start to move. Even that acupuncture, that's also very helpful. So it helps with the stuck emotions, it helps that flow. So you choose those things, okay? That's a somatic release. Obviously emotional भी होता है, but वो mixed होता है. You know, the body is not separate from the mind. So अगर body से release हो जाता है तो mind से भी अपने आप धीरे धीरे होने. So it's like goes both ways. So choose these different whatever suits you, and you'll see, your sacral getting activated. Okay. Now let's do a quick meditation. So just wherever you are, close your eyes and relax. Sit comfortably, feel grounded. If possible, like if you're not sitting on the ground, just make sure your feet is touching the ground. Take a deep breath in and exhale fully. Feel the weight of your body supported by the earth. Now bring your awareness to your sacral chakra. Where is your sacral chakra? An inch below your navel. Okay. Imagine a gentle, warm, orange glow there. This is your sacred river, your source of creation. Breathe into it. So when you breathe, try and take your breath down to your sacral. If not, it's okay, but try. Allow yourself, and even if it's not, your breath is not going, just imagine your breath going till your sacral and feel your sacral without any judgment. Feel the sensations, the tightness, or any resistance. Just notice. Keep breathing and feeling your sacral gentle orange glow. Now, visualize a golden hose, okay? A golden hose of pure water, whatever color, even if it's natural water, whatever color if you want, you can put. Imagine that hose is just showing up from up above, from the universe, and it's washing over your sacral. Like there is a car wash that happens. Just imagine your sacral is getting washed right now with this golden hose of pure water, pure sacral water, sacred water. And as this water is pouring all over your sacral, imagine every story, every shame, every guilt, every ancestral curse, all of those low denomination feelings that are stuck in your sacral is getting washed away one by one. See your blocks dissolving, swirling, and flowing down and out from your body. Feel relief as your sacral is becoming lighter, freer, more fluid. Imagine a polluted river, right? And imagine now the cleaning of that river is happening. And imagine now slowly and steadily it's becoming pristine, fresh water because all the muck is getting out of it. And as all the muck and all the dirt and all the pollutants are getting out, now the river is feeling like it can breathe again. So imagine your sacral can now breathe again. And let's call in Ma Matangi, who is one of the Das Mahavidyas. And just imagine that she is blessing your sacral now. And she is empowering the cleansing now. And imagine more and more orange light, bright orange color, like the sun. When the sun rise, imagine the sun is rising in your sacral. Imagine the river that was polluted is now clean, and right above it, a beautiful, beautiful orange sun with its brightness is coming out. And keep breathing into your sacral. Breathing in, breathing out. Do this 3 times at least to just anchor this energy. Breathing in and breathing out. And feel the flow of this river, okay? Imagine this gush of this river, okay? And I want you to activate all your 5 senses. So smell the fresh river. See it. See the beautiful waves. See that sun, that orange sun. Feel it on your, feel like if you touch the river, how does it feel? Even taste it. Imagine tasting this fresh water. Sometimes we have these fresh geysers and fresh rivers, right, that people drink out of. So imagine that when you're tasting it, imagine it tasting so sweet, just like nectar. Activate all your senses and feel the flow. Feel the flow. And now feel a sacred flame. Like we do Havan. Imagine a sacred flame with this bright orange igniting your sacral. So, right next to that river, the sun has come up. And imagine now, right next to the river, there is this beautiful Havan happening. Golden red, warm, protective. And this flame is going to burn only what no longer serves you. So, again, anything that did not go away in that water earlier, all the shame, all the guilt, all the self doubt, all the ancestral burdens that you're carrying that no longer serve you, imagine it all going in the sacred flame. And again, Ma Matangi is holding her sword, guiding the fire. With each exhalation, visualize smoke and ash rising, clearing your energetic river. Anything and everything that's still there in the river of your sacral, imagine all of that is coming into this fire now. And now I want you to put your hand, both your hands on your sacral and chant Vam VAM. Vam. Do it 7 times. Vam. 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 One more time. Now feel the vibration in your sacral as it aligns your energy. Your sacral is your river of magnetism and creation. Feel it spinning like a golden orange sun radiating outward. So now I want you to imagine a disc or like a CD, right? Right in your sacral, and imagine it's going clockwise and it's spinning. And as it's spinning, I want you to visualize your desires are flowing towards you effortlessly. All your desires. Imagine it's a big magnet, big magnet, and it's attracting and bringing forward all your desires towards you effortlessly. Just like a magnet, right? If there are iron filings in front of it, it just goes to it, right? So, just like that, imagine your sacral is now attracting all of this. Visualize all your creativity expressing itself fully, all your creative endeavors just flowing through you. No questions, no doubts, no worthiness issues. It just comes. Visualize your intuition guiding your choices. No doubts any longer. You just know. You have an inner knowing. Feel your magnetism expand with every inhalation and exhalation. Allow all pleasures, joys, and freedoms to fill you. You are now allowed to want whatever you want. You are allowed to create. You are allowed to receive. Now I want you to gently sway. You can sway left to right. You can sway आगे से पीछे, whatever it is. Just sway your body and let your body express freedom and fluidity. Just like a river, okay? Just flow. Move and feel Ma Matangi's energy embedded in every cell of your body. Feel your sacral glowing, flowing, becoming magnetic and free. You're a free river now. And you can affirm silently or aloud, I am free to desire. I am magnetically aligned with all that is mine. My sacral is open, flowing, and powerful. Take another 30, 40 seconds to just move. Move your body, move your hips, move as much as you want, and feel that movement in your body. And then slowly, again, come back to your body. Take a deep breath. And once more, putting your hand on your sacral, chant VAM 3 times. VAM, V for victory, AM. VAM, VAM, VAM. And feel the energy anchoring in your sacral now. Just thank in your mind Ma Matangi for her presence, her guidance, and healing. And know that this river of energy will continue to flow, magnetizing all that is meant for you. This magnet inside you is now activated. It's done, it's done, it's done. And slowly bring your awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers, toes. And whenever you're ready, you can come back to the here and now. Just remember that your sacral is active now, it's flowing and it's magnetic. Yeah. You can obviously go back to this meditation and do it whenever. Also, and I will send you the journaling prompts as well so that you can, start seeing where the blocks are and you know how to clear it also now. And with soul's love, I'm going to send you a few statements so that you can, start saying that with emotions that really trigger you and you want to clear it out right in there. Right? Cool. Any questions before we end?
Where do we visualize the river flowing to? Like I can see the hose, and when is it
So,
the entire spinal cord
so
flows from?
imagine yourself like a cosmos, how you are a creation, you are a creating being, right? So imagine there is like a earth, or like there is a magnet right there around your sacral, and imagine a river that's flowing from, say, infinity, coming, going through your sacral and going to infinity, because you are a part of this whole universe, right? And you are a
Okay.
magnet, and you attract from everywhere. So if the Brahman is in you, so you imagine like this huge big magnet there, and this river is flowing, and and the river is eternal. So you just want it to come through your sacral so that it clears your sacral and goes. Yeah, and you're just part of the flow, because you don't want to just flow in your body, no, you want to flow with the cosmos, isn't it? So then
Hmm.
you become a part of it. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes, I can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm saying thank you so much for asking that. I mean, I imagined it just going down to my root chakra, but yeah,
That's
now
also
now
fine. You are
yeah,
a,
no, but this
yes, you're part of the ocean. So kahin bhi, okay, another thing. Have you seen that a river, wherever it flows, jahan se bhi, it always finds its way to the ocean? है ना? All the rivers come from somewhere, but it always knows where to go. So intuitively, आप अपना रिवर ऊपर से नीचे कर लो, आप अपना रिवर यहाँ से यहाँ फ्लो कर लो, ultimately it will join the cosmos. So
but I can imagine doing both actually. I
yeah,
can feel both the things happening simultaneously.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So even if you feel like in your sacral the river is flowing, no, that's also good enough, because that flow that I'm talking about, that's anyways happening. आप सोचो या ना सोचो, it's happening. So the as long as there is some movement, it will become part of it, because the river always knows where to go. No, it always joins the bigger this thing, right? The bigger one doesn't care, but the smaller one always knows where to go. No, like that's the energy pulls it, right? So that's how it works. Yeah. And we all know that Earth ka there is this magnet right in the middle, the core. So your magnet is just a small part of it, by the way. So it's getting activated. So like that attracts everything. You also become a part of it now. You start attracting everything, right? And of course, the more you work on it, the more uh, you'll start to feel the power of the magnet, because otherwise you'll be like, Arey, but nothing is happening. All of the doubts are also stagnating that water, no? So you clear, and then you affirm, because if you affirm pehle, then you'll feel like it's not sounding right, which probably happens with you, right? So yeah, perfect. Thank you, both of you,
Thank you.
to the class.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you so much, Anisha. Just full of gratitude.
Wow, thank
And
you.
thank
And I'm going to send
Thank
yeah.
you
you.
the journal prompt. So do it, practice it regularly, and I'll see you in the next class, which will probably be end of the month next month. Yeah, cool. Okay, thank you. And
Thank
I
you
hope
so
both of
much.
you are coming for Devi Code. I don't know if it's starting next month, but it'll start soon. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.